Hey everyone, welcome back. It is Thursday, 9:30 something p.m. You guys are, or this video is really the last on my to-do list before wrapping up my day. And it is a bit later than normal that I'm filming because I ended up exhausting myself this morning and taking a nap, like a really good nap, in the middle of the day. I really dig that I can dice up my schedule like that. You know, I ended up starting the day early. I ended up waking up for my morning call, which was at 6 a.m. And then after that, I stuck around they had this like beginner call. And I have been asking the same question in the group a few different times to different people, and I haven't really gotten a direct answer, which is, how do you figure out how much your store can afford when you're ready to grow? And so far, you know, I've been inserting my data that we went over yesterday into AI and then asking them to do the math and tell me what I should do based off of my sell-through rate. And that's how I got to 8 listings a day. And I've just been kind of like accepting that, I guess. And like, I know I'm able to save money while also spending money back into the business. So I'm like, well, goal achieved, I guess. So let's just keep on keeping on. But I didn't really know, like, what is a safe way to grow? So I was able to get that answered, but they did recommend that I basically stay with what I'm doing, which I'm listing 8, selling 4 on average a day, and then just keep there for a while. Ultimately, you are your own CEO if you have a business, so you get to decide what you want to do, and that's it. that's the benefit. So yeah, even though I feel like I have been going for it and doing things my way, like, I am going to listen to them, is my point. They have operated larger businesses than I have. They have grown their businesses larger than I ever have. So I'm just going to do what they say and hope for the best. But I am going to kind of, because I'm human and I'm a newbie, I am going to kind of test some things. So one of the things I'm testing this month is doing larger offers, which I think I mentioned maybe a call or two ago where I had told you guys that my margin's big enough that I can actually offer people 30% off, whereas I had been offering people 15% off. And I've been doing that consistently, and I feel that there's been a slight uptick in the amount of sales I've made a day. And the benefit of that is I'm getting my initial investment back for these items. So I'm just going to keep doing that. It doesn't bother me that, you know, on paper I might be making less per item because, like, let's say before when I held on to it longer, maybe I sold the item for $40, whereas now I'm selling it for $20. The truth is I spent $3 on the item, so I'm still making my money back plus more. And now that I've, you know, maxed out this space in terms of current layout, like, I just am looking to turn things. So let it go. Also this morning, I ended up going through all of those books I showed yesterday, and I learned that there was a few books that were no longer listed in the store. And I think what's happened was, like that Deliverance book, it wasn't actually ever listed, which means it never hit the $5 markdown sale. And I think what happened was I had put that book on auction, and then when it ended, it didn't auto relist it, or something happened, but it just basically disappeared from the shop. And so it had been sitting on my shelf, not moving because it wasn't listed. So anyways, of the, like, I would say 200 or so books that I looked through today, I only saved 10 of them. So 10 of them went back into my eBay shop. Of the bread and butter books that I removed that weren't signed, I put those in boxes, and I had somebody come by this morning and pick them up, and that was about 10 boxes worth, and that was great. It's like, get my physical space back and my mental space back. The liquidation is happening. I have 480 items in the eBay store. So now that those categories are removed, I'm really curious to see how the numbers are going to change. I'm really hopeful about April, and I'm feeling good about where it's headed. And I'm also, again, only 2 days in now, I'm feeling really good that I have backed off of Rover a little bit to give myself some breathing room. And it's just easy street right now. Like, just go out, find 8 items, come home, photo list, yada yada. Like, it's so much of an easier life, and I'm loving it. So, to be able to breathe is wonderful. So, when I was thinking about what to talk about today, I did want to share this really funny story. So, 2 days ago, I was at a thrift store, and it was that particular thrift store that has bad Wi-Fi in the plush area. So I have to like put all of the maybes in my cart and then wheel it down. They have this like wooden basket section, which like nobody is ever in. So I usually just go there, find my bar, and then look up everything. And I was pulling out some awesome plush from this. Like, I must have gone like right after they replenished. Even the experience is becoming more satisfying because it used to take me like 4 hours per thrift store to find items. And now I can do it like in an hour. And I'm basically just like this through the shelves, pulling items. It's not perfect. Like, I'm still pulling a bunch of items, looking them up, finding the ones that don't meet my metric, and then putting back probably like at least half the cart, maybe more. But like, that whole experience change is just very satisfying. Like, I know my main brands now because I spend the time looking up brands that I constantly find in the Portland thrift that meet or don't meet my metrics, and the ones that don't, I can pass. So Squishmallows, not Squishables, Squishmallows are so produced and so popular that the margin just isn't there for what I'm looking for. And that is like the most common plush I find in the Portland thrifts. So I'm able to just like cut through all of that crap and get to the other ones. So I ended up just having lots of fun in the thrift. Moved over to the basket weaving section to go through what I had. And then, I don't know why, but for whatever reason, I was like, you know what? Let me just go ahead and do a final pass. I mean, I am a good human, and I do end up wheeling the ones I don't want back to the plush aisle to put them away. Usually I just put it away and then I go to checkout. But that day, like, I put it away and I was like, I should just do one final pass. I don't know what provoked me to do that. It was just like a feeling I had, because it felt like it had taken a while to get through my basket because of the slow ass Wi-Fi. So there was one other person who, she looked like a mom, I'll just say that was really digging through the section, and I didn't really think much of her. Anyways, I did my scan. I had like moved all the plush I didn't want back to the bottom shelf, was doing my scan, and I saw this guy, and it was enough to know it was either husky or wolf. Pulled him out. This is like the fur is actually like airbrushed or whatever. Like, it's not dirt, it's part of the fur. The coat on him is actually kind of gross. I think he dealt with some dryer burntness or something. But here's the tag, Douglas. So this guy, he is considered a medium size. He's 20 inches long. Medium, dog, wolf, husky, you want to pick it up. So I immediately grabbed him, and I turned to like go around the corner back to my baskets to like make sure that he is the dollar amount I need. And as I'm turning the corner, this mom, who was once digging through all this stuff, quickly turns around, does not make eye contact, and just was like, oh my gosh, can I see that? And I was like, yeah. And I just like slowly gave it like to her, and then she like made contact with my eyes and was like, oh, sorry, I thought you worked here. Which, to be honest, happens sometimes when I'm putting away that large amount of plush that I don't want. Even if I look like this, Goodwill people wear blue. They don't look like this. Anyways, so it was just really shocking to the system. This mom just like grabbing my item and also asking me if she can look at it. And then I just was like, do I want to fight with this person? Like, I've never had this experience before. Like, I'm just an introvert. Don't talk to me. Anyways, so she like grabbed it and then she finally looked at me and was like, oh, sorry, I thought you worked here. And I was like, no. And then she goes, oh, okay, yeah, that's your item. And then she starts like awkwardly laughing. And I was so awkward. I just didn't even say anything. I just started walking away. And as I'm walking away, I heard her say, oh, my kids would have really liked that. And sure enough, back to the basket weaving section. This guy, easy, $50. So I ended up listing him that same night. And when I listed him, you know, all of these plushes usually have names like Eric or Smoke Wolf or whatever. And because of the damage to the fur, I could not figure out what name it was, or it doesn't have like a date on the tag on when it was made. So like I just put it up as a Douglas wolf. And then like I got a message on it that night from somebody who was like, oh, I'm really interested in purchasing this. And again, I'm just like, what do you even say to that? Like, okay, purchase it then. I just like didn't even respond. I just was like, okay, cool. Like, anyways, so I just went to bed. And before I went to bed, I ended up posting this guy to a group that deals in Douglas. And I asked them, you know, these are like, what are they called? Aficionados? Is that a word? I feel like I'm really close, but it's probably not the right word. Anyways, they are like obsessed with Douglas. It is a Douglas group, so like, obviously. Anyways, so I posted photos and I was like, does anybody know the name of this wolf? And I got a lot of people just like out of the woodwork just giving me a bunch of really cool information on like how to tell the difference between like heat damage versus dryer burn, and like what year this guy was, and like what type of wolf it was. You know, I had listed at 60, which is high, and I would accept less because of the condition. But again, knowing the brand and knowing that wolves are very popular, I was like, whatever. I'll just do it $5 under the new price and see what happens. Anyways, so the next morning, ended up getting a different message. That guy wanted to know like the year, and I told him like what I thought it was. And he ended up making me an offer for, I think it was 40. And I just accepted it. I absolutely will sell this in one day for $40. Like, sign me up. So, anyways, he's going to be shipped out tomorrow. And yeah, I just felt good about that. Anytime I run into any stranger in the thrift, I feel like it's always awkward, but maybe I'm just socially awkward, or maybe people are socially awkward. I don't really know. I'm just there to work. When people interact with me, I just wish they wouldn't. Okay, so anyways, I'm just remembering just that like aggression that like lady had to grab my item. It was so shocking. I definitely went home after that. I was like, that was enough thrift for today. You know, some people are like, that's enough internet for today. That's how I feel about people. Anyways, this guy is going out. Mr. I actually don't know his name, but he is 2015 in the Smoke Wolf collection. Anyway, so if you see a Douglas that's medium size, doesn't matter the condition apparently, pick it up, list it, you will sell it, and you will have money back in your pocket for the next sourcing day. All right, everyone. See you tomorrow. Bye.